everyone, and welcome back to Manny's Midweek. I'm Bri Sicilia. This week we're going to check out track and field meet at James Madison University, as well as the baseball and softball series at Bloomsburg University from this past weekend. Stay tuned. The men's and women's track team traveled to Harrisonburg, Virginia for the JMU Invitational. This meet may have been the most challenging meet this season, and the Mounties competed against 11 Division I teams. Junior Sean Ringgold led the Mounties and moved up the PSAC leaderboard in 2 different events. Ringgold ran the 400 meter in a time of 50:36 and finished 13th. This placed him in 4th in the conference so far, and he wasn't done just yet. Ringgold went on to compete in the 200 meter with a time of 22:13, finishing 6th. This race put him in 4th fastest time in the conference at this point as well. The rest of the team competed well, including Terrence Quaker finishing 16th in the 400 meter and Victor Ortiz finishing 19th with times of 51:83 and 55:06 respectively. Quaker and Ortiz also competed in the 200 meter dash later in the meet. Quaker finished with a PR time of 23:12 in 15th, and Ortiz finished with a time of 24:04 in 19th. Michael Beals also competed in the 200 and finished in 20th with a time of 25:27. Women's side, Maggie Ernest competed in the 200 meter dash and finished 32nd with a time of 30:05. In the 100 meter dash, freshmen Henry Polanco and Michael Beals competed, finishing with times of 11:21 and 12:47 respectively. Tegan Anderson hit a PR time of 12:85 and Ernest finished with a time of 13:79. Junior Don Cook competed in the long jump and finished 7th with a mark of 6.2 meters, and sophomore Riley Mong competed in the pole vault competition with a height of 3.10 meters, finishing 13th. In the 1500 meter run, sophomore Christian Tanner finished 10th with a time of 4:09. Freshmen Riley Transu, Abraham Calderon, and Simon Richards finished 13th, 14th, and 15th with times of 4:26, 4:37, and 4:54 respectively. Freshman Anitzia Dodson hit a 13-second PR time in the 1500, finishing 16th with a time of 4:57. Sophomore Shelby Alexander finished 12th with a time of 5:25. Freshman Tedra Harrison finished 13th with a time of 5:28. Bailey Morgan finished 14th with a time of 5:32, and Emily Gerlach finished 16th with a time of 5:43. The Mounties are back in action next Saturday, April 24th in Shippensburg for the Paul Kaiser Classic. On Saturday, April 17th, the baseball team traveled to Bloomsburg University for their weekend series. The Mounties ended a 9-game losing streak by splitting their first doubleheader with the Huskies. The Mounties took Game 1 5-3 with homers from Asaf Loengart and Zach Schertzer, with singles from sophomore Josh Farina and junior Ben Osborne. In the bottom of the 4th, Schertzer hit a sacrifice fly to drive in senior Tyler Melko, and Loengart hit to right center, drawing in 2 runs. Junior Joe Tamino's sacrifice bunt allowed 2 more runs in the bottom of the 6th. Senior Hunter DePrimo threw a great game, only allowing 3 runs in the 6th, and struck out a PSAC leading 13 hitters to earn the win over Bloomsburg. DePrimo is now 2nd in the conference with 56 strikeouts. In Game 2 on Saturday, the Mounties could not keep up with the Huskies and fell 6-0. Despite this, senior Jake Menke threw a scoreless inning, and Osborne, Tamino, Melko, and Schertzer all earned hits. The Mounties stayed in Bloomsburg for their doubleheader on Sunday, April 18th, due to our northeastern weather. The Mounties fell to Bloomsburg on Sunday 5-4 with a back-and-forth 6.5 innings. Melko earned his 8th home run this season, and Loengart hit a 3-run homer, while Schertzer batted strong, going 2 for 3 with a run in the 4th. Sophomores Todd Ernie and Scott Polson combined to throw over 2 innings to relieve Ryan King, who pitched the first 3 innings. The game ended with a walk-off from the Huskies. In Game 2 on Sunday, the Mounties struggled in the batter's box and lost 4-1. Senior Colby Schimmel threw over 5 innings and only allowed 1 earned run before sophomore Josh Colon stepped up in relief. Melko was the only Mountie to earn a hit, finishing 2 for 3, and Farina scored their only run. The Mounties are back in their next series at Shippensburg University on Friday, April 24th. The softball team also traveled to Bloomsburg on Saturday for a series with the Huskies. In Game 1, the Mounties fell to the Huskies with a score of 14-5. The Mounties' defense could not hold Bloomsburg back in the first inning as the Huskies scored 5 runs quick. The Mounties tried their all to answer back, scoring 4 out of their 5 runs in the other half of the first. Junior Lacey O'Donnell reached an error, allowing for Megan McGinley to score, while Hannah Breitigan hit a double with the bases loaded. Over the next 3 innings, the Huskies scored 9 more runs, and the Mounties scored their final run with Snyder's run off of a wild pitch. In Game 2 on Saturday, the Mounties' offense improved but couldn't secure the victory, and Bloomsburg took the game with a score of 5-3. The Huskies scored the first run in the bottom of the first until Snyder drove in O'Donnell, the top of the third, to tie the game at 1. The game stayed tied until the Huskies scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th. In the 6th, junior Hannah Swartz drove in Snyder, and O'Donnell singled in Danny Goff for the 7th, but the Huskies held on for the win. Goff pitched for 6 innings and was charged for only 1 earned run. The Mounties held Sunday's game in Mansfield and started Game 1 with multiple hits. The softball team earned a season high of 14 hits, with O'Donnell recording 2, Alex Hine finishing 3 for 3, and Snyder, Swartz, and Abby Woodard recorded 2 hits each. Despite this, it was not enough to secure the victory, and the Huskies took the win 6-5. The Mounties continued with offensive hits, recording 8 in Game 2 on Sunday, but fell to the Huskies again with a score of 7-2. In the 6th, Lauren Watson scored off a wild pitch as the bases were loaded, but the momentum was not enough to continue scoring. The second run came from Alexis Easling, who doubled, allowing Snyder to score for the Mounties' last at-bat. The Mounties are back in action on Friday, April 23rd at Helen Lutz Field against Shippensburg University. The National Football Foundation has named over 13,000 student-athletes in the Hampshire Honor Society since its origination. The Hampshire Honor Society is comprised of football players of all divisions, and 2021 marks the first year the society included players from the Collegiate Sprint Football League. Congratulations to Tim Banks, Dewan Bowie, Brandon DeJesus, and Jaden Walker on being named members of the 2021 Hampshire Honor Society. For more information, visit gomounties.com. The PSAC announced their support to the current NCAA policy that allows the opportunity for transgender athletes to compete in intercollegiate athletics. The PSAC and NCAA have policies that provide a fair and inclusive path for transgender participation in sports. For more information, go to psacsports.com. Let's take a look at what is coming up for the Mounties next week. More midweek coming up next.
Looking forward to getting outside? Start planning now for your outdoor getaway. Visit Pennsylvania's Potter Tioga area. Ride in the rolling hills. Take a walk of serenity in one of our beautiful parks, one of our stunning outdoor wonders, or our world-famous Grand Canyon. Take an evening stroll in one of our quaint towns and end the day with a unique stargazing experience. All just a short drive away in Potter and Tioga. Get outside and play in the Potter Tioga region. Plan your stay today.
UPMC is a visionary hospital, cutting-edge research, all of the exciting things out on the edge of medicine.
There's a challenge every day, and there's the potential to help. When given the opportunity to make a difference in someone's life, that's a tremendous feeling.
UPMC's interest in bringing the best there is in the science and research and bringing that bench side to the bedside is what makes a huge difference.
Life-changing medicine is not only medical treatment or surgical treatment, but giving patients hope.
From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
We have an interview show here on campus called Sidelines, where Drew Patrick talks with athletes and coaches. Let's take a look at Sidelines this week with special guests Sean Ringgold, Hannah Breitigan, and Lacey O'Donnell.
Thanks, Bri. Yes, in this segment here of Sidelines, we'll talk with Sean Ringgold. We'll talk with softball's Lacey O'Donnell and Hannah Breitigan. It should be good. Let's get things started. Hello, everybody, and welcome back into Sidelines. Joining me at the desk is two members of the softball team, Lacey O'Donnell and Hannah Breitigan. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having us.
So let's talk about this last week. Obviously, the games didn't go the way we wanted, but you guys had solid performances in there. Lacey, I want to talk with you. You've been battling with injury throughout the season, but able to come back and be a factor. What has been the key to the recovery and to being back?
I mean, I think just having support from my teammates. They're always there for me, and they know that like I want to be on the field right now, so that's helped a lot.
And Hannah, you've seen this season, really, you've done two different positions and moved to third as well as normal catcher. What has that transition been like for you?
The transition for me has been a little tough, speaking that I haven't really fielded a ground ball since like my freshman year. So just like focusing on my fielding has really been a main thing for me right now. And same with Lacey, having the support of the team behind me. Like when I do make a mistake, they're just like, hey, you're fine, like get the next one, which has helped a lot.
And really that side of the infield, you and Joelle are new to those positions. And really, Lacey, moving over to that center field, yeah, you got some experience last year, but it wasn't a full season, so kind of a change up there too. So how has really the team had to adapt to a lot of different pieces in different spots?
I mean, I think that all of us have changed positions really because like even the people that like are normally at their positions now haven't really had the opportunity in so long. So I think that at the beginning, it was rough at first trying to adjust, but we all have found ways to make it work now.
I agree, yeah.
One thing that I absolutely love in terms of watching your games, specifically your games, is how like the camaraderie of you guys, and you mentioned having that team support and just as loud as you guys can get in the dugout. How important is that to finding success?
That's so important, like having the energy really like, cause say like something happens, someone strikes out, we're still up and we're still picking them up, which will boost their confidence for their next at bat. So that energy just staying high the entire time is like a big key to keep it high and going.
Yeah, I think that you can tell like the difference between games that we have really good energy and really low energy. And at times it has been hard this season just with like being mercied or things like that, trying to like stay supportive. But we have a lot of girls that will step up, and not just like certain people, like all of us are willing to step up when it comes time.
And you knew bringing the two of you on, I would bring up this past game, which for those watching, well, let's cut to a clip of what happened. So, Lacey, you're up. Hit the foul ball. Hannah, first of all, how's your hip today?
Well, it didn't really hit my hip. It hit my like thigh, and it's actually still swollen. It's bruised. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but it hurt a little.
And that clip too, Lacey, immediately that as soon as it went off the bat, I saw your hand go up to your mouth. Just talk me through this play. It was, I don't even know if I can call it a play, but this moment of the game.
I mean, I felt bad when it happened, but the strike zone was pretty bad for that umpire, so I knew that I had to foul it off, and she just happened to be right there. Right where it was the line drive area.
I feel like Coach G's always in the potential hit zone. Never thought the on-deck circle there would be.
Yeah, that's a first for me, getting hit.
It's definitely harder with the lefty up to bat first, too. You're right at that angle with the outside pitch.
I'll keep an eye out for this.
The next one. Okay. So let's look forward to the games ahead. Shippensburg is the opponent coming up. What do you expect from that group, and what's going to be the key to getting a victory?
I don't know a lot about Shippensburg because we've never faced them since we've been here, but I think that at this point in the season, it doesn't matter who we play. We're just putting it all out on the field because really we have nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah, I agree with Lacey there. We're just going to keep our energy up and keep striving for a win.
Yeah.
The other thing, especially looking forward, is the schedule for you guys gets very crowded.
Yes.
Next week, Monday, Wednesday, and the weekend are scheduled games, not to mention this weekend. What do you guys have to do to really work on staying healthy and work on being able to focus on all of those games in that week?
Just listening to your body and knowing when you need to take a break and like being caught up with your schoolwork has really like been helping, and just making sure you're eating right and like drinking enough water, really flushing your fluids so that like you don't pull muscles at practice and stuff. Those things will like help.
Yeah, and I think that it might be good for us to play more condensed games because we've been going a full week before we step on the field again, and a few of us have been injured, so we've had more than a few weeks like out. So I think that it might help us just being able to play all those games rather than just going through the motions at practice 4 days and then playing.
Yeah.
Being able to keep that momentum going.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, with COVID restrictions, practice isn't probably as what you've been used to.
Yeah.
So I could see that absolutely. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time and stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
And Sidelines continues after this. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back into Sidelines. Let's talk track and field now. as joining me at the desk is Sean Ringgold, coming off an outstanding meet. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about that meet. And it was a big meet. You guys were the only Division II team there. Does that play into the factor at all that the competition you're going to face is a stiff group?
Honestly, yeah, it really did. Well, I love competition, so my nerves don't really get to me too much. So when I step onto the track, I just block everything out. And knowing that I'm going to have someone that's going to potentially be able to push me, it just makes me want to go out there even more and just go and put all my all into it.
Yeah, definitely someone who thrives on competition, because your race is incredible. And really the number 4 has stood out here for this meet. And what I mean by that is, let's start with the 400. 4th in the conference, Mark, that you went. Talk me through that race. What did you see in your heat there that made that successful run?
Well, me and Coach Johnson talked about a run plan for me. So just to get out, work the first turn, pace myself on the backstretch, and slowly begin to build up and just maintain coming home. And I executed that race plan exactly the way he wanted me to. And the time just kind of showed. Plus, I had other people around me that were running fast times. So it's not like I was going to be ahead of them by a lot and just not have anyone to run with, or I was going to be too far behind. So just executing the race plan was what kept me for that good time.
So not only in that race, 4th now in the conference with your time, but also that is the 9th fastest time in program history in the 400. And let's switch to the 200, because the number 4 continues to stand out there. Finished with the 4th fastest time in the PSAC and the 4th fastest time in Mansfield program history. Talk me through that race.
That race was a bit different since I was in the fast heat. Being in lane, what lane was I in? Lane 8. I was all the way out there. So basically all I had to do was just run scared. Just work on my start, focus, and just go all out. And I had people on my inside lane that were moving. I was just trying to stay with them as best as I could. And that's what I did.
Yeah, I think especially you mentioned it, that thriving on the competition, being able to feel someone there during a race. Looking forward to the next couple of meets that you have, obviously you want to improve on those times. Sub 22 is what you said here before we started. What are the steps to get that, especially if you're in a race that, say, doesn't have people pushing you? What do you have to do mentally to keep that?
Well, all the mental steps normally just go with just going hard at practice. Just putting everything out there, because the hardest thing is practice. When you get to the meet should be easy. The meet shouldn't be stressful on you in any sort of way. You just go out there and do what you do best. So that was basically my motto for this weekend too. You know what to do and you know how to do it. So go out there and execute. And that's just what's going to happen this week.
So next steps moving forward, what are the goals this next meet that you have? At Shippensburg this weekend is the course that is going to be the PSAC championship track. So do you guys keep that in mind for that race, or do you just treat it like another race, another track, we're just going to go there?
It does play a part in there, but we're just going to take it one step at a time. So this weekend is just going to be another meet, get a feel for the track. Like you said, the goals are sub 22 and sub 50 this weekend if I'm going to be running the 400 and the 200. Just stay focused. We got a lot left in the season, so just keep going forward.
It should be good. And Sean, thank you so much for taking the time and coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And Sidelines continues after this. Do not.
close-knit. It's beautiful. Now, as we join UPMC, it just opens a whole new world.
Together, UPMC and Susquehanna Health are bringing life-changing medicine to north central Pennsylvania.
UPMC brings extraordinary innovation to virtually every aspect of the work we do.
Exchanging ideas, sharing research, it's a tremendous opportunity to learn in real time with world-class experts.
Changing lives every day. UPMC Susquehanna.
Forward to getting outside? Start planning now for your outdoor getaway. Visit Pennsylvania's Potter Tioga area. Ride in the rolling hills. Take a walk of serenity in one of our beautiful parks, one of our stunning outdoor wonders, or our world-famous Grand Canyon. Take an evening stroll in one of our quaint towns and end the day with a unique stargazing experience. All just a short drive away in Potter and Tioga. Get outside and play in the Potter Tioga region. Plan your stay today.
Court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun. No one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
Midweek, everyone. Let's take a look at Mountaineer of the Week and Play of the Week. We had some terrific performances in the last week, but only 2 athletes can be chosen for Mountaineer of the Week. On the women's side, we have junior Lacey O'Donnell with 3 hits in both games, 2 and 3 against the Huskies, and added 4 runs scored. On the men's side, junior Sean Ringgold moved up to the 4th fastest time in the PSAC in both the 400-meter and the 200-meter dash. Congratulations to our Mountaineers of the Week. We're also back with Play of the Week. Last week, we had you vote on baseball against softball, and based on your votes, this is your winner.
That is a fly ball to deep center field, and we will salute you with a grand slam home run, Zach Schertzer.
This week, we have 2 plays coming from Helen Lutz Field. The first comes from the first inning in Sunday's doubleheader against Bloomsburg when their batter cracks it towards the gap, but Joelle Snyder is right there to rob the Huskies of a hit. That play is against this one from Hannah Breitigan later in that game, the hard shot towards third base. She backhands it and zips it across the infield for the out. Which defensive standout play claims Play of the Week this week? You vote on Twitter at Mountie All Access, and as always, results will be revealed next week. Not only did we have some great performances over the weekend, but 2 of my personal favorite alumni had quite a celebration. On April 17th, Mansfield women's soccer alumni Rachel Fox married her high school sweetheart and Mansfield sprint football alumni Colin Kilpatrick. Congratulations to now Mr. and Mrs. Kilpatrick. We are so glad Mansfield Athletics shared a chapter in your love story. That's going to do it for this week. To stay up to date on all things Mansfield Athletics, go to GoMounties.com. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
What characteristics exemplify a Mansfield Mountaineer? Dedicated. Motivated. Unified. Together. From the tops of the peak to the deep valleys, Mounties stand together. That truth has never changed, and that truth will never change. Though things may be done differently, we still stand strong. 250 student athletes, 13 programs, one mountain, one season.